Okay, everybody, we are looking at now how to use Blender with BlenderGIS to create your neighborhood or home in Blender and then export to Unity 3D and then go from Unity to AltSpaceVR. So the first thing that you're going to have to do is to download Blender, and the new version is a bit different than the older versions. This version here is what? Where does it tell us what it is? It is, should tell us what it is. New workspace, shadow bar, new splash screen. So the new version is this one here, which is version 2.81a. And you can decide what you select with and what you don't. I like to select, because I'm used to it, with the right mouse button to do my selections. It's up to you. And I like the space bar to play things, but you have that ability with this new version. And you see you have some of these things on the splash screen. Anyway, download that version of Blender, and then what you're going to need to do is to, if you look up here, I have GIS on mine because I'm using Geographical Information Systems. You won't have that on yours. So in order to get that on yours, you'll need to go to here, BlenderGIS. Now what you can do is you can find it by simply typing into, I use Ecosia because they plant trees, but you can use Google or whatever, but type in BlenderGIS and then you'll see GitHub. And you want to get to GitHub, and then you want to go to clone or download, and you want to download the zip file into your downloads folder. And once you've done that, you'll see that there are also instructions when you go to the quick start guide here and you go to install and usage and you come down here, it'll tell you how to do it. That's in the install and usage thing in GitHub, in Domlis's, that's the guy who's posted this wonderful add-on, BlenderGIS. So there's all sorts of stuff on how to use it, pretty well documented, but I'll show you here how you do it. In Blender, you will go over here to File, no, sorry, not to File, to Edit and Preferences. And from Edit and Preferences, you will go to, it'll probably start on Interface, you'll go down to Add-ons, and then you will go to Install. And then you will look for where you have your downloads folder for Blender GIS master.zip. Keep it as a zip file, okay? Keep it as a zip, and then click on Install Add-on here. As soon as you do that, it will install it, and you'll see this appear here. The problem is you're not yet done because you haven't given it a path to where to save your GIS maps. So if you've done that, go back to Edit and Preferences and go to your add-ons, and you'll notice that there's official add-ons, and then there's testing add-ons, and you'll have a lot of add-ons that have not been enabled. There's a lot of tools that you can do in Blender. So what you'll need to do is to find BlenderGIS, which will appear here, and it will be unchecked. And because it'll be unchecked, you won't see it up here. It's not going to show up. So what you're going to do is you're going to go to Preferences, you're going to go to your add-ons there, and you can search for it here as Blender. So I shouldn't be running this. And you will see that there are different things for Blender. One of them is the 3D view BlenderGIS. So click it, check it, and it will show up here. While you're there, you might as well also click on Add Mesh so that you can add meshes from Blender Kit Asset Library. That's not really essential for right now. Just want to let you know it's there because we may come back to that later. But you click on that now, click on that little arrow to go down, and you've got to give it a path for where you are going to locate your Blender maps, your GIS maps. Oops, I just lost that. It went somewhere in here. There it is. Okay, and for that, you're going to Actually, I was looking in the wrong location. You don't want to be looking under all this for the path. You can safely close this knowing that it's checked. What you can do is now go to GIS and go to Preferences here under GIS. Now when you do that, you have a cache folder. That's where you have to find it. So in your cache folder, click on the little folder and tell it where you want to put it. And for me, I'm going to put this in, let's see, I'll put it in my data folder for, depends where I'm going to be doing my work here. So I'm going to make a folder here for this project. And let me make a new folder here. And I'm going to call this folder BlenderGIS Base Map File Cache. And I'll know what it's going for. There it is. And I'll double click on that and I'll accept that. So now that path here, BlenderGIS Base Map File Cache, is a place for it to store those base maps. And it should work now. So I should be able to get this to work. You can then, it should save. I don't see why it wouldn't save. It's still in add-ons, so let's see if it works. Sometimes what you do when you go to preferences is if you've done these things, you've made these preferences, you should save the preferences, but this has auto-save preferences checked. So we should be all right with that. All right, so with that having done, you can go to GIS now, you can go to Web Geodata, you can go to Basemap, pick Google if you like Google. There's also OpenStreetMap, Bing, or OSM, OpenStreetMap WMS. You can do the satellite layer or map layer. I like the satellite layer because it has pictures. And don't check center to existing objects and click OK. So then you get a map. Now what you do to find your location is you hit G. And if it's in Google Maps, it should show up. So if I put Rosebud Continuum here, and I usually set my zoom level to about 18 and click OK, then boom, we end up in Rosebud. And now we'll tell you what to do with that map a little later. So we'll pause now.